Today we are very delighted to announce another MOU signing ceremony by the AquaBloom Sports Technology Group Limited and Cyberport on co-building a SportsTech and Esports Hub. ABSG is the first and only globalized sports tech and innovation platform in Greater China with extensive resources, industry expertise, and projects. ABSG now announces lending in the Cyberport community to set up a world-class global sports tech center in Hong Kong to develop the sports tech and esports cluster and ecosystem together. Let's take a look at a video on ABSG's work.
AquaBloom International Sports Technology Group and its founders' preceding companies has over 20 years of successful track record in North America, China, and Asia's sports industries. Integrating top-notch IP resources, founders with his team have created and operated numerous sports IPs, establishing various platforms to bring international sports services and products to the sports enthusiasts. ABSG infuses 9 elements of application scenarios and empowers sports with technologies and innovations, aiming to forge a world-class sports innovation ecosystem and comprehensive service platform, thus to achieve the transformation towards the digital and intelligent sports industry. In ABSG, you can sense the strong power generated jointly by smart technologies in sports scenarios as in smart big health, stadium, sports media, wearable products, sports education, esports, sports events, sports marketing, sports finance, and elite athletes. In the future, ABSG will persist in exploring intelligent sports, creating a global top-notch sports innovation ecosystem and pushing sports industry to a new level. Bloom International Sports Technology Group unites the world with sport and innovation.
ABSG and Cyberport, together with many other supporting stakeholders from society, are aiming to deliver some specific goals for the next few years. Synergize and provide top-notch professional values and programs from around the world to empower and serve sports industry and cluster company members. Attract and help to build over 300 excellent companies from startups, scale-ups, unicorns to big corps to form the sports tech cluster in the next few years. Contribute to Hong Kong's International Innovation and Technology Center collectively produce over $10 billion GDP, create thousands of new jobs, empower and grow the sports industry together with stakeholders. Cyberport is honored to establish a strategic partnership with ABSG for grooming the sports tech and esports vertical. ABSG has already formed strategic cooperation with more than 30 sports innovation platforms and various partners from over 20 countries around the world. Cyberport community companies will definitely benefit from the robust network and ample resources of ABSG via such a one-to-many synergy. We're very honored to have invited representatives from the collaborating parties to join us today for a signing ceremony. Now, without further ado, may I invite the representatives to come on stage for the signing. They are Mr. Peter Yan, CEO of Cyberport, Mr. Mike Young, founder and CEO of ABSG, Now may I invite Mr. Yan and Mr. Yang to sign on the agreement to signify our collaboration. Let's also take a photo to commemorate this special moment. Thank you, gentlemen. Please remain seated on stage. Now, may we invite other ABSG partners to join us virtually. ABSG would like to invite all the guests here to witness their alliance, partnership, and synergies with their global collaborators. Some of them are joining us today online. We are very excited to have some partners through the Global Sports Tech Alliance, including Mr. Nate Thompson from the Houston-based U.S. leading sports tech community in the U.S. HTX Sports Tech. Mr. Paul Chen from UCAM, one of the best sports-focused university in the world. Mr. Yang from Zhongguancun Industrial Research Institute. Ms. Gao Yan Hui from Zhongguancun Exhibition and Service Industry Alliance. And Mr. Gu from Shanghai Financial Bureau. We're also delighted to have Mr. Rick Sliegers from Orange Sports Forum. Mr. Toshi Tanaka from Takumi Innovator, Mr. Mondi Machinini from Rumble Ventures, and Mr. Ricardo Mazuka from Arena Hub. They represent the Sino-Dutch, Sino-Japan, Sino-Africa, Sino-Brazil Sports Tech Hub under the Sports Tech UN that are formed by ABSG, which is strongly supported by each other's government and major organizations. We are honored to have Mr. Ed Derbier from Philips, which has formed a strategic partnership with ABSG and Orange Sports Forum on a major project called Inno4 Health, managed by Philips and other industrial leaders from 7 countries and 37 top organizations in Europe in the healthcare and sports, academic, and clinical domain. Ms. Chen from China Tennis, which is supervised, managed, and operated by both China Tennis Association and China National Sports Group to deploy sports tech together with ABSG in tennis tournaments, training clubs, and building a global tennis tech center, etc. We have Mr. Xiao Li from SGLA Law Firm, which is the best sports industry legal and business services provider in China with many top sports entities and athletes clients who deliver ecological sports legal services for both the platform and the sports tech enterprises. Mr. Wang Yuan, the Secretary General for the Digital Sports Working Committee of the China Sporting Goods Federation, which promotes the digitalization and development of China's sporting goods industry. With all the ABSG partners joining us online, let's take a group photo to commemorate this very special moment. May I invite Mr. Yan and Mr. Yang remain seated and hold the MOU for the group photo. So would all our guests please look at our photographer in the middle for a photo. Thank you everyone. Please give a round of applause to our guest here on stage. Coming up next, we'll have a panel discussion on the topic of a new momentum for sports entertainment. We are very honored to have Mr. Mike Yang, founder and CEO, AquaBloom Sports Technology Group Limited. Mr. Robert Lui, Hong Kong Digital Asset Leader, Southern Region Government Affairs Unit Leader, Southern Region Capital Market Services Group Leader, Audit and Assurance Partner Deloitte China. Mr. Mikio Takenaka, President, Sony China Research Laboratory. Mr. David Hernando, Head of Strategy, SportBoost. Dr. Ilan Hadar, Partner, Pangea Corp, LLC. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome the panelists. I'll now pass the time to Mike. Mike, please.
Well, thank you, everyone. It's such a great pleasure and honor to be here today to talk about our passionate sports technology. I just want to first thank Cyberport's special and super strong supports for creating a globalized sports technology center and ecosystem together. I also want to mention that sports technology not really just applied to sports. I really think the value of sports can apply to so many aspects, including health, education, entertainment, economic growth, and many social benefits. So, and also I feel it's right now for Hong Kong, it's a perfect timing to do this. because of Hong Kong's special position and also the emphasis for innovation and technology in the next few years. So again, thank you everyone. And we have some very special experts and top-notch speakers today. So without further ado, let's get to the panel. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So first, my first question is related to how technology. Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. So the first section, I would like to have our special speakers to introduce themselves. First, I would like to invite Dr. Ilan from Israel.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Quick intro, and thanks, Mike, for inviting me to this panel. My background is high-tech and sport tech. I spent a lot of time in Asia in my high-tech previously in China, Singapore, running semiconductor and all kind of high-tech industries. And then I jumped into sports because that's my passion. I run Hype Sports Innovation, the biggest sports technology accelerator network in the world. There I met Mike, and we did a great collaboration until today. And now I am a partner and CEO of Pangea Cup, which is the first global competition for video game discovery, which if needed, I will explain later on. So thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. Okay, next, Mr. Robert.
Thanks, Mike, again. My name is Robert, and I partner in Deloitte, and then focus on, originally I focus on the capital market services and also the digital assets development in Hong Kong. And of course, why I'm here today about the sports technology and the esports is that I share a little bit my story is that in 2017, I got an injury during my soccer competitions. My ACL was torn, and that is in Cantonese is 十字韌帶斷. So I get a quite long time to recover and back to the soccer field and to the running track. During this period, I think I like a doctor. I did a lot of research from the web and checked from the medical report and talking to, I think, more than 20 doctors and the physio to ask how I can back to the field within 6 months and check with the soccer star in the EPL, how they can get back to the field quickly. So I have a lot of feeling during this recovering period. So I spent a lot of time to learn more about the rehab, the sports technology in this area, how we can keep our performance or even improve our performance after this kind of injury. At that moment, or in these 2 to 3 years, I have a lot of chances to discuss this kind of areas or knowledge with our partners in different countries and also some professor in different university to do some research and to do some publications related to the sports technology. So I hope that in the next few 30 minutes, I can share more this kind of areas of our views and what's the chances and the development of these industries in the coming 5 to 10 years.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, next, Mr. David from Spain. SportBoost. It's a wonderful sports technology platform in Spain. Thanks, David.
Well, thanks, Mike. Thanks, event organizers, of course, the audience, all the colleagues here in the roundtable. Yes, as you were saying, Mike, we are a sports tech accelerator led by Iker Casillas, former goalkeeper in Real Madrid, Spanish Federation Association Football. We've been, I mean, my background is in athlete management and also in consultancy for sports firms, also sponsoring and clubs. During the last 3 years, I focused my activity on analysis of startups, okay, and different young projects. And this is how we created SportBoost as a private initiative during the last 3 years, as I was saying. But finally and publicly, 1 year ago, we launched the project of SportBoost. We support, as I was saying, young projects, okay, startups, that they focus their activity on tech in any topic. I mean, health, fan engagement, performance, any vertical. We invest our own money, but also some other co-investors, some of our business angels, there are some other ex-athletes or professional active, athletes. And we have different partners, okay, like La Liga here in Spain, but also, of course, our colleagues of AquaBloom and Mike and his team. And this is our ongoing activity right now.
Great. Thank you, David. Okay, Mikio-san, please give us an introduction. Thank you.
好，大家好，我是 Sony 中国研究院的院长竹中干雄。
Hello,
从来2020
my name
年，我
is
在北
Mikio
京2年半。
Takenaka.
目前
And
作为 Sony 中国研究院的院长，
I'm the
我
Sony
一直
and
致
president
力
of
于
Sony China
为
Research
Sony 在中国的
Laboratory.
娱乐、
And
元宇宙、体育。
our focus is on the sports technology. And I'm very happy to have this opportunity. Thank
It's
you
our
for
honor.
inviting me.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get to the very first question. This question is from the technology perspective, how it affects how the deep technologies and new technology application or business models affecting or transforming the sports entertainment industry, and how these factors are affecting people around the world. I would like to ask Dr. Ilan and Mikio-san about this question, since you guys are technology experts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I will start with, technology is really disrupting sports in the last 10 years like no time in the past. I will focus on maybe 4 or 5 points. The first point is obviously the digitization, the increase in memory, connectivity, and speed. And this is affecting, I'll give you an example. For example, the cord cutting, which means that people are not consuming sports anymore in the old-fashioned by cables and satellites, and they are streaming it. ESPN Plus, NBA League Pass, and all of these platforms are really changing the world as we see. The pure digitization, like digitized ticket, remote ticketing, and everything around it, make it very efficient and create some value to the teams and everybody around that. Performance tracking, wire up athletes that are enabled to transform information from the field, creating better product on the field. If you look at the video game industry and the esport, less and less people are buying any hardware. Everything is downloaded, everything is VOD. So it's a major change that how companies like Netflix grew to be the giants, and others are going down. And we can see this connectivity everywhere. Everywhere we go, people are now changing the way they consume and react in sport. The second thing is the power of automation. The biggest jargon in analytics, I'll just give one example. The 3-point in basketball. You look at the NBA today, most of the shots are getting from below the rim and in the 3-point. While if you look 10 years ago, the shot chart is completely different. Okay, so this is because analytics. This is because the metadata that we can now see that it's very efficient to work one way or another, and it's changing sports. You know, every kid now wants to be Stephen Curry. They don't want to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because it's much easier and much cooler to shoot 3 points rather than to fight under the basket. Injury prevention, which we have experts here. I just give one number that astonished. If you look at LeBron James, for example, every year he's extending his career is about $300 to $400 million for value to the economy of the ecosystem around the team. So if he can operate for 22, 23 years rather than the 15 years that was a while ago, so it's like $2 billion more than that. And how can he do that? You know, with all the technologies, it is said that top athletes are invested now $1 million per year at least on their bodies in order to extend their careers. So obviously there's a return on investment. Another thing is the multi-experience, the convergence of video games, the metaverse and everything around it. This is being allowed by the high connectivity and by all the applications that exist there. And I think this is well covered here with the metaverse. And maybe I'll end up with something which is more futuristic, but it's coming. That's the human augmentation, the combination of life science, sensing and computing. And it's blurring the lines between biology and technology. Everybody remembers Oscar Pistorius and the way he was treated and competed in the Olympics and in the Paralympics. And the more people are changing the DNA, they are working with all the technologies to enhance. We remember the Lance Armstrong enhanced drug enhancement scandal. This is coming. People are becoming more superhuman, and athletes are within this trend. So we expect a bright future and also interesting. So I hope it wasn't too long, but that's my view on the technology disrupting sports. Thank you, Mike.
No, these are great insights. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ilan. Okay, Mikio-san.
Yes, okay, Mike-san. The first thing that comes to me is workout at home or training at home. We have seen many brands' success in the subscription model. Not to mention, Keep actually have been good in their offline gym too. The impact of this kind of model is twofold. On the one hand, it attracts more first-time user because it is easy to start home training, almost zero investment at first. On the other hand, there have been more prosumers who create content about training. Especially since COVID-19 changed our life, we are sometimes locked down at home. It makes those who didn't go do much sports start training. Also, it makes the sport people crave for better drive. You know, the incentive to keep pushing themselves, which leads to the technology side. We have seen success in tele-existence UX in home training. We at Sony have been potential to use one or two of current solutions to make better sports entertainment experience at home. We have incubated tele-existence solution. This is like we say mado, like a window in Japanese. This is free body size display, like you know, Doraemon's どこでもドア You know the magic door. It was designed and connected to two spaces. Back to the question, the user engagement will be happening from home, workplace, maybe a restaurant, all the places that were initially not intended for sports. Who knows? We have high hopes to serve the users by using our technologies. That's all. Thanks.
Well, that's fantastic. I have visited your Sony's research institute in Beijing.
Okay.
And I saw so many amazing technology that you guys are creating these days. Hopefully soon we see you in Hong Kong and learn some project for sports technology together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Mike-san.
okay, cool. Well, my next question is relating to market, global market. I want to first ask Robert, in your opinion, how important a globalized market is for the growth of sports entertainment or sports technology's future? Thank you. And my next one would be for Robert. You know, what's the special place that Hong Kong, in your opinion, can play for the world's sports technology industry? Maybe let's have David go first. Yeah, okay. Thank you, David.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Yes, I mean, of course, it's relevant, and I think it's more than relevant, you know, a globalized market for sports and sports tech. At the end, sports is, I think, a topic that we share, I mean, beyond culture, geographies, and even the moment that they could be, you know, in relationship among or between the different countries, is a point of share and of feelings, emotions, you know, effort, success, resilience. So I think, of course, taking that insight that sports is something that connects all of us worldwide. Of course, it affects directly the technology and our ecosystem that we are debating here. For example, of course, technology could be, you know, a tool to make it more direct, this share of joy, as our colleagues were mentioning right now, the training at home, maybe the competition, you know, among the different gamers or athletes from their houses, you know, it's just an example. But of course, we can go to some other, you know, topics of not just the share of the moment, but also how we experience, you know, the how we see the events, the streaming, you know, of the different competitions is something that, of course, is delegated to some globalized, you know, market. And for the startups, of course, it's important to have a connectivity and access to different markets in terms of not just clients, that is obvious, but also in terms of fundraising is something very relevant for them. So in my opinion, of course, I mean, is as I was saying, vital to have a globalized market for all of us. And I think part of our commitment here is to expand and collaborate among us to make these collaborations, you know, more close, and have this international scope of sports tech. I think is one of the most relevant things that we want to create, and we want to have success in the SportBoost.
Got it. Thank you so much, David. Just a quick side question for you. I know you have many portfolio companies in Spain and Europe. In your estimation, what's the percentage they will be interested if they are ready to come to Asia's market, or Hong Kong, or China, mainland China? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them they are right now running through some challenges, you know, in terms of technology, and also the legal, you know, aspects, and how is the data traveling, for example, for one of our portfolio companies that is related with cardiological, you know, prevention and heart attacks. So this is something that has been quite challenging. Some others that are more related with performance, nutrition, they are having these data management challenges, okay? But of course, all of them, I would say 100%, they are very happy to explore in Asia. You know, it's a huge market. They are ready for deployment, as I was saying, with some challenges, some of them. But in terms of fan engagement and how are they connecting with the client, I think we are pretty much the same. I mean, here in Europe, in Asia, we consume the sports in a very similar way. And as I was saying, sports is something that connects all of us, and the market is there.
Okay, that's good. Wonderful. That's exactly why Cyberport and us want to create this center to help the international exchanges. All right, Robert, let's talk about our home base, Hong Kong.
Sure, Mike, I will keep it short. I know that we are running late a little bit. I think David shared a lot of the globalizations that sports really connect all the people in the world, say the EPL, right? When you're watching the EPL, all the people in different worlds, at the same time, they can share a lot of their photos or video through the social media and create a lot of opportunities, not even in the sports area, the sports tech areas. In other social media, we have a lot of chances. How about Hong Kong? Hong Kong is a international finance center, have a lot of opportunities in the capital market, the tourism, trade. What kind of opportunities is here for Hong Kong? I believe that here is a great opportunities is that because we have a lot of new policy, like the Northern Metropolitans, that is the Bắc Bộ都會區, and also the GBA concept. As this kind of policy have a very great impact between in the northern areas and Hong Kong, is that Hong Kong has a very solid base of the fundraising, the capital markets. We can attract a lot of companies. Say what David mentioned is that all the companies in Europe or even in US, they are willing to come to Asia to invest because China and Asia has a very big market. I believe that after the COVID, this market will be open very, very quick and very soon, like the rugby season, we will have it in November. And what I mentioned is about the policy in Hong Kong in the past few years. For the innovation and technology side, Hong Kong government invests more than 120 billion in this kind of areas. And say we have a Cyberport, we have a lot of startups or companies, or even in other areas, they are focused a lot of resources in health technologies and also sports technologies. They are willing to put the resources here and help to train up our younger, our talent, maybe the students in the secondary school or university, or our elite athletes in the Hong Kong. So through these globalizations and through this policy, I believe that our athletes can have a lot of chances to mingle, to connect with the athletes in other countries, and also for the professional to the recreational. A lot of our age groups say, I tell my age groups to is 40, right? The 40 to 50s, we care a lot of our health. We put a lot of time or energy to keep our performance, how we can running better or streaming better. We have our wearable watch to check our heartbeat, to check our muscle activation. So there's a lot of chances. So I hope that for these resources in the futures, Hong Kong can improve and has a very good pace to attract the foreign investor to Hong Kong to develop the sports industries.
Okay, thank you very much, Robert. All right, let's get to the next question. It's related to government's role. And this question I would like to ask Dr. Ilan and David. How important do you think a sports technology or sports entertainment cluster ecosystem that are supported by government. And in your country, can you give us some examples? What kind of roles and what kind of policy or support the, say, Israel government or Spain government to put into this direction? Thank you. Maybe Dr. Ilan, okay. you can go first. Yeah.
Thank you. So first, we have to understand that sports is a huge business. Depending on who you ask, we are talking about 800 to 900 billion global industry, with major segments like media, live sports, apparel and gear, fan engagement. Just as one note, the NFL, the National Football League in the United States, just signed an agreement for 10 years with $110 billion media rights, which is unbelievable number, okay? This is more than the GDP of many, many countries. So this is how big is sport. So everything that's when sport is growing, a lot of things around sports is growing, whether it's the services, whether it's the technology, whether it's the hardware, software, and everything around it. Now, 80% of the population of the world are considered themselves one way or another sports fan, where soccer have 3 billion fan, and number 2 is cricket. And one anecdote, it's very emotional. When I teach or I speak about sports, I try to give an example from the past. There was a war between El Salvador and Honduras in 1969, which is called the Football War, and it was starting after a qualifier to the World Cup. And why am I bringing that example is because sports is so emotional that it is estimated that it has a 50% more chance to get $1 from a sport fan on the same product from a regular any other product. That means there's a 1.5 sticking factor to sports. This is why people are buying a $100 shirt for the NBA, where if they buy this shirt without the Boston Celtics or anything else on that, it will cost maybe $15 or $20. That's because the emotional value that you have as a fan. And that's create a tie for every business around that. And brands are sticking to that and trying to get attached to sports. I would say that trying to be concise here with the government, I won't give too much examples of Israel. Israel is not a big sports, I would say, country. However, I could give an example which Mike and I have worked together in our Taipei accelerator, where we have 8 or 10 cycles already, where the government there is providing the necessary infrastructure, and you can see startups coming from the sports and increasing the industry awareness and bringing money and employment into Taipei. And also another example is the blockchain accelerator, which we were running in New York City, which brought companies into this space, and some of them became extremely successful, like Socio.com. So you can have a thematic activity, or you can have a general activity on the countryside. If the government is providing infrastructure, then the economy will grow and everybody will benefit from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ilan. Yep. David, you want to?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm very aligned with Ilan. And for example, some data from Spain, sports is generating the equivalent of, and I would say more than 3.3% of the GDP of the country. Okay, so this is more than relevant for the government at this point. But also, you were talking about the employment in Spain, the jobs that are created or generated directly and indirectly from the sports segment is more than 2% of the country's employment population. And further than that, and we have, of course, an example because of the crisis of COVID recently. The health system, for example, of course, is suffering this. And in Spain, different data is telling us that the inactivity produced by COVID, it increased the expense of the government in health system in more than 25%. Okay, so of course, I mean, sports is a tool very relevant for the governments, and they have to push and they have to benefit the ecosystem. But as Ilan was saying, I think it's something that of course they have to be enablers for this. You know, the private initiative is, in my opinion, who has to lead, you know, the growth and the organic growth of the ecosystem. But of course, governments, I think that they should be very much into it, in doing investment and also making this possible. Because as I said before, sports is a tool for culture, it's a tool for health, but also it's a tool for engaging, you know, with some other different countries, populations, and a new way, of course, of creating prevention.
Yeah, those are great insights from David and Dr. Ilan. Thank you again. All right. The next one is about the future trends. I'll make the question short for Mikio-san and Robert. What do you see in the next 10 years? What are the biggest trends for sports entertainment and sports technology field? Thank you.
I go first?
Okay.
Yep. Or maybe...
Mike-san.
Yeah. Okay, Robert, you can go first. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I go first. Thanks, Mike. I keep it short. That I believe that maybe 5 to 10 years, the trend is that what I have mentioned before is that the performance and the safety precautions. I believe these two areas is a very important areas for the developments. More and people enjoy the sports very much because they keep fit, they keep their health conditions is very good. So for the precautions, a lot of technology should be focused on how the people can, the rehab can be fast and also can be back to the maybe better conditions after the recovery. So I believe this kind of area is the focus point, and the other is the performance, and so related to how to check your the sleeping pattern, your heartbeat, your training schedule, how the coach can have a very good plan for you, the nutrition, the food, what kind of food you need to take. The last one is that the variable. I think a lot of variable development, like say the AR, VR, the visual, everybody's maybe in the futures can have, you say, recently we have a lot of virtual one during the COVID. We can run in the different areas and I mean compete to get each other. So this VR, AR, and the measurable, the wearable should be very important area to develop. The last one is that maybe in a lot of speakers talking about is that the metaverse and the NFT. I believe that for the sports tech or the esports, we will have more opportunities to have in the metaverse area through the VR, AR, and some NFT mechanism. So I pass to Ian.
Thank you. Yep. Mikio-san?
Yes, okay. So I also think definitely meta sports. Most of the coaching training can be moved to the metaverse. Actually, there has been the idea of teleexistence remote coaching long ago. 10 years from now, the metaverse infrastructure will make sure that these kind of experience are more natural, enjoyable, and efficient. As for the advices, I guess as a member of Sony, I am a student here because we naturally take the role of technology provider. In my personal opinion, we have to make sure that UX is good. Especially, For the case of VR, today the usage of VR is a little bit tiring. The VR hardware is heavy. Also, VR sickness is quite a heavy problem. We at Sony have been working hard on a better solution to VR. R&D colleagues in Japan have been collaborating with universities to deal with VR sickness. So I see this as our task. Also, I think this is advice to share for all the friends entering this field. We must make sure the users are comfortable with UX. Otherwise, we cannot fully enjoy metaverse, meta sports. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Wonderful. We are all looking forward for Sony to produce many more sports entertainment and sports technology product in the future. Well, I know that we are running out of time, but last but not least, I would like to say, really appreciate all the audience on site and online, and especially special thanks to speakers, Dr. Ilan, David, Mikio-san, and Robert. I will want to say it's our great opportunity as Hong Kong sports industry GDP is around 50 billion Hong Kong dollar, and China, mainland China's GDP is going to reach 5 trillion RMB in a couple years. So I think Hong Kong really, what we are creating together with global partners is to try to contribute to make Hong Kong an international sports technology center, and we need everybody's passion and help. And I just want to say we are very grateful. Thank you for attending today. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Mike, and the panelists for wonderful sharing. And with our gentlemen on stage, please take a photo together to commemorate this special moment. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please give another round of applause to our speakers on stage. Thank you for brilliant sharing. This also marks the end of our morning session, and we'll now have a lunch break. For our VIPs, we'll be joining the VIP lunch. Please follow our staff to the lunch venue at the Le Méridien Cyberport Hotel. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our sponsors, including StepN, LG, Zotac, and Meta, as well as our partners, supporting institutes and organizations for your support towards Stealth this year. We'll be having the virtual FPV drone racing show match here in Cyber Arena during the lunch hour. The afternoon sessions will begin at 2 p.m., where we'll be breaking out into 3 parallel tracks here in Cyber Arena, as well as the Smart Living Labs located on the IT Street. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please grab some lunch and come back to watch the drone racing show match. We'll see you again at 2 p.m. Thank you.